Tell me how. Not just the pull out a pad of paper and start to write, but the real stuff. Where does inspiration come from?
Well, I cover inspiration in, and I cover it in a chapter of my book, don't I?
Yeah. Have you deliberately framed these questions so that your book is the answer?
No. Well, yes, a little bit, and that's a lesson in itself for people. But I'm also going to, if I've already seen a couple of questions that I haven't really answered fully in my book, and I'm going to tweak the book now based on that, because I know that I'll be able to answer the question. But this is the point that Joe's just made, Leslie. If you can package together all of people's questions in much the same way as I'm doing right now, and then answer them in your book, people will want to read your book because it'll be a neat package. Everything that they need will be in one place.
People are lazy. They don't want to spend the next month Googling all sorts of random things around the internet.
They don't, and that's a really good comeback for me to say to people, people could just Google it. They could, but they don't want to, because you don't know what you get when you Google something. You're going to get a bazillion results. People
from different cultures. You're going to get crazy people. You're going to get people who...
Those two things were not meant to be side by side, though, were they? People from a different culture and crazy people.
Entirely separate.
Yeah.
Well, then you're going to get people who's, aren't making it work. You're going to get all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and you're going to get people who are just pulling it out of their butts as well. So, if you've lived this stuff, Leslie, and, you are... your shit with leadership and how to get what you want in a career, then put it in a book. Ask, do what I'm doing right now. Ask people to send you questions and then answer them. So in answer to your question, where does inspiration come from? You know what? Inspiration is creativity, and it's a muscle like any other. There's a fantastic little book that I reference in my book called A Technique for Producing Ideas. It's about 30 pages long. It was written in the 1920s, and it's still relevant today. And it basically gets you to connect. Inspiration is connection, is creativity. If you sit down and wait for inspiration to strike, you will be waiting until you're a skeleton. Like Stephen King says, amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just go to work.
Just put the work in.
Yeah. So if you want to be inspired, you need to put the work in. There's your muse is a bastard. He's not going to show up and help you. You need to put the work in. And the way that we do that is by starting with the person that you're writing for. What problem are you going to solve for them? And that leads into your next question, which is, what questions should I ask myself? There's a bunch of questions you could ask yourself, and you should ask yourself, which is, what do I want people to know? What do I want people to learn from my book? What do I want people to do when they finish reading my book? What do you want them to have, do, and be? But also, what do you want them to do in terms of your business as well? So those questions you ask yourself. What is more important is that you ask your potential readers, your best clients, what they would want to know.
Sure.
And what problem that you can solve for them, because that's where your inspiration comes from. How are you going to help people? How are you going to change their world in a small way or a big way?
Yeah. What difference does it make?
Yeah.